Hey everybody, welcome to Tay and Talk. I'm Tay. We're back after a long hiatus once again. This time we have some upgraded audio quality, and we're bringing you a very special superhero-themed episode, including Wolverine review, Wonder Woman, and the new Spider-Man. So, Nin, are you ready to get going?
Yep, ready.
Okay, so we're gonna start it off with the one we remember the most. We saw it the most recently, Spider-Man.
Thwip.
Yes, Thwip. Okay, Nin, how bad was Spider-Man?
It wasn't bad.
Oh, it was good?
Yeah.
Huh, that's weird.
You thought it was bad?
No, it wasn't bad, but okay, I'm going to start off a little negative and then we can get some positive in. I didn't think it was really all that great. It was nothing, there's nothing super impressive in it, you know? Nothing that made you say, wow, this is a amazing Spider-Man movie, you know? Just,
Nice.
yeah, unintended pun there. uh, Mostly the problem was it was just kind of, they went for the teen movie thing, you know? Where kind of like an 80s movie where it's just about teen comedy and whatnot, but that didn't really fit a Spider-Man movie in my opinion. A Spider-Man movie is supposed to have something epic in it, you know, good villains, something crazy, good drama.
Well, the first Spider-Man movie was pretty similar to Homecoming. It had the high school stuff at the start.
It had some high school stuff in it, but there was still some epic scenes, you know, like some moments that you were like, oh, that was amazing, that was super memorable, something awesome to see.
The only epic stuff in the first one was the ending action scene.
Wow, what about every scene with Green Goblin in it?
Not epic.
That's really epic.
It's not epic like The Dark Knight or anything.
Well, no, not epic, but it was still awesome.
It was still
cool.
pretty campy.
It was, yeah, exactly, campy fun. The new one just seemed like, and now for another episode of Iron Man show.
Yeah, it was definitely a part of the MCU.
Yeah, that
it fits right into the mold.
Yeah, the mold. That's actually a negative. We don't want it to be every movie to be the same.
There's like a peak of goodness, and then once it's achieved, it can't go any higher.
Yeah.
Like with the Winter Soldier, it can't get any better than that.
Yeah. So you think the Winter Soldier is the best one?
Yeah, it's up there with the best ones, like Winter Soldier,
Avengers
Iron
1.
Man,
Avengers 1. Yeah. Those are the three best.
But once you've hit that peak, it can't go any higher. It's just in its formula.
Not that they can't go any higher, but I think they keep utilizing the same formula every time. Like, it's always a comedy with some like average action thrown in. You know what I mean?
Yeah, well they're not trying to like win an Oscar or anything.
Well, they definitely won't win an Oscar, but okay, let's break it down a bit. So the villain is played by Michael Keaton, and he's playing Vulture. Should have been Spider-Man 4 with Sam Raimi, but of course
Toby, why?
we got screwed, of course. So what do you think? Keaton, I think he's a good villain. He plays a good villain. It's pretty interesting. There wasn't much meat for the story, though. All he did was just steal stuff. You know? He didn't have any super deep character motivations, you know. They tried to play the old, the evil capitalists. He government took over and, meh. I didn't like that angle.
It's kind of like the same in Spider-Man 1 where the goodness of the villain is all in the actor. Because it's not really a well-written role.
Oh, I see what you... Okay, so you're saying it would have been meh, but Keaton made it good?
Yeah. Like, there's no clear motivations or anything. It's no Joker. It's just a villain just to have a villain, you know?
Well, it was clear motivation. He had a business scrapping parts. The government made it illegal, so now he's like, oh, I'll be an illegal villain then.
Well, I guess it is a motivation, but it's not a very interesting motivation.
Yeah, I agree. Okay. My favorite character was probably Michael Keaton still, though. Don't you think?
Yeah.
Yeah, I loved... okay, we're going to get into spoilers for all these. Might as well. They're super old. My favorite scene in the movie is the car scene where he alerts Peter that he's aware... Or no, he figures it out as they're driving that Peter is Spider-Man. That was cool.
Yeah, that's when Keaton shined. He let his intimidation factor go up to 10.
Yeah.
And he pulled out the gun.
Yeah. How did you think about Tom Holland, though? Do you think he's a good Spider-Man?
The only problem with Tom Holland was that he was doing like the puppy dog voice, which most actors do when they're trying to seem younger. They like raise their voice really high and speak like super softly.
Then give us your best puppy dog voice.
Hi guys, is it pizza time, guys? Like that's kind of like puppy dog voice.
Well, also, I think they do that because they're trying to mask the fact that they don't have an American accent. Because
Could
they're
be.
always British.
Yeah.
Another reason why Toby's the best.
Yeah.
He's not.
Garfield did it so bad in Amazing Spider-Man.
Yeah.
His puppy dog voice.
You gotta get closer to your mic now. So Garfield sucks. We agree there.
No, he doesn't suck.
He sucks.
No, he was the best part of those ones.
Yeah, I'm not gonna watch those again. They're so boring.
I want to see the Amazing Spider-Man 2 again, just to laugh at it.
Yeah, I want to see Dr. Manhattan again.
Yep. No dong though.
No dong. That's the one negative of that film.
No electric eel.
Yep. Okay. Anyway, what about the rest of the characters in the movie?
Oh, okay, we gotta talk about the most annoying character.
Oh, the stupid girl.
Yeah, the stupid girl who plays MJ was so annoying. Her character was terrible.
Oh yeah, you can. Okay, the problem. Not to bring politics into it, but you can tell that this was written by an extreme liberal, and it's just because some of the dialogue is so blatantly liberally annoying that it's too obvious. It'd be like if Peter Parker randomly said, "Hey guys, a free market really works a lot better than a socialist system. Hey, let's go outside to recess." It'd be that obvious. So that MJ character was pretty stupid. Like she
had like 4 lines in the movie, and 2 of which were
extreme social justice warrior lines. Yeah, I know, that was so dumb.
Like for some reason, she was just really cared about the Washington Monument slaves. It happened like 1,000 years ago. Who cares?
Yeah,
that's just annoying.
No, it was built by slaves. Therefore, we can't do anything about it.
Well, get out of America then. And then, what was her other line?
Her other line was, "I'm gonna go to Washington because I want to get in some light protesting."
Oh yeah, gonna get in some light protesting.
Light protesting, implying it's like a fun hobby.
Yeah,
and it's not serious protesting.
It's not the heavy stuff. That'll come later.
It's not like Rodney King beatdown type protesting. It's just light protesting.
Just a little bit before lunch.
Like somebody won't bake you a cake.
Just do it for fun. You don't actually care. It's just a hobby.
Yeah, so she was annoying, but hopefully they'll improve the character in the future, and hopefully she's not actually the real MJ, because that was a real dumb angle that they took there. Like,
I don't think she is.
What was her name? Her real name wasn't even Mary Jane. It was something
Michelle.
else. Michelle, yeah. Hopefully she's a different character. But you know what? I have a theory on this, a conspiracy theory. I think she was going to be MJ, and that she was going to be the new MJ. But then everybody was backlash, like, "Oh, what? She's not MJ." And then they interviewed the director, and he goes, "Oh no, she's not the classic MJ. She's just a new character that just happens to be named MJ as a nod to the comics." That seems like a cop-out to me, as if he was making that up on the spot,
Could be.
I think it sounds reasonable.
What? It's an okay idea. I mean, I'm kind of tired of Mary Jane. We already had that whole thing in Spider-Man 1.
I mean,
you got to have a new character, because like Mary Jane in the first Spider-Man was like just the generic girl. Just like, oh, she's the girl next door. I have a crush on her.
No, she's not generic, and she has red hair.
But they want to try something new for the new movie, so they have a completely new character, and they're gonna try something different.
Oh yeah,
which is pretty good.
They wanted to try something new, so what they did was they took every classic character and just made them a different race and had an opposite personality.
Make him fat.
Okay, so I heard his best friend in this one. What was his name? The fat guy.
I don't know.
He had a new best friend in this one, and it wasn't Harry Osborn. It was some new fat Asian guy who liked to build Star Wars Legos.
He was good though.
Yeah, I liked him. He was a good character.
He was good.
But yeah, it'd be so. I heard a joke. Somebody said like, "Oh, what if at the end of the movie he reveals his real name is Harry Osborn?" That would be hilarious.
Yeah.
Oh man. So, what do you think about the action scenes in the movie for me? Because that was one of my big criticisms. Nothing memorable, nothing brutal, nothing that left you in awe. it just was passable action.
Well, I feel like the entire movie was like there was no scenes. It was just all one big scene. Like in the first Spider-Man, I remember specific action scenes.
Oh, you're right. You're
Like
right.
the one where Green Goblin invades the fair they're having in the city.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's the ending fight, of course.
Yeah.
In Spider-Man, I just feel like it's just a train that's just barreling on, and there's no specific standout scenes.
Yeah. I think that's the problem because they went with the high school theme. In a high school movie, there's never going to be a big action scene, you know? Maybe you could argue, oh, they weren't going for a big action scene, you know? It was a high school movie. That was what they were trying to do. So they weren't looking for a cool action scene, you know? But they did have like the other villains in it like Shocker and Scorpion. That what they did with Shocker and Scorpion was
Well,
creatively meh.
wasn't Scorpion just like a quick name drop?
Yeah,
I
it
don't
was
even
just
remember.
like some random thug who just happens to be named Matt Gargan.
Oh yeah, the after credit scene was so weird.
What was that?
It was like Keaton was in jail, and
Oh
then
yeah.
he was like, I don't.
I don't
He was
know who
like-
Peter is.
Yeah, I didn't get that.
It was because didn't Peter save his life or sacrifice his life or something?
No, he saved his daughter.
He saved his daughter, so he didn't. Remember, the whole reason he was doing everything illegal was for his daughter, his family. Oh, such a good backstory.
And since we're gonna get into spoilers, the whole fact that Liz is Vulture's daughter,
Oh, yeah, that was pretty surprising.
it was a good mind blower because I didn't expect it. But it's the same problem with all movies, like Star Wars and everything. It's like everything has to be a family. Like
Yeah,
it's only like, oh, who's Rey? Is she Luke's daughter? Oh, whose daughter? It's
Yeah.
like, why does she have to be someone's daughter? Like, why
yeah.
is that the only mind blower?
You know, it's surprising. The mind-blowing fact is that they were that uncreative, if you really think about it. Because at first you're like, whoa, I was not expecting that. That's pretty crazy. Because the scene was executed, it was executed really well. But if the plot was not written well, because you don't want everyone to be related, you know?
It's kind of a lazy mind blower.
Yeah, and it's like some of those mysteries where you could never guess it because it's not that impressive if you know it's coming. You know, if you're like, okay, guys, the daughter that Peter's dating is gonna be Vulture's daughter, but you don't know till the end. It sounds lame but except for when you're watching the movie, it's surprising because you're not expecting it. You know?
But that is like one social justice warrior thing I kind of liked because they used the angle of like a mixed relationship with Vulture and his black wife
Yeah.
as a mind blower.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Where
Good
it's
point.
like, oh, I didn't think
Oh
that
yeah.
it could be a mixed.
Wait, no, that's
Ah.
because you're racist. I assumed that they were a mixed race relationship, and I knew that they would not be white, only white or only black, because that's
Yeah,
racist.
That's unnatural.
Yeah. So they did play it well there. I mean, I was
that's one that I
surprised. It made for a good scene. It was a good scene.
I also like the scene where Peter is like lifting up the debris.
Oh yeah, that was a great
That was
reference.
cool.
I liked that a lot.
It was a reference to the
Yeah.
Stan Lee comics.
That's one of my favorite issues of all time. Is when he lifts that thing.
Yeah, that was cool.
Classic. If you haven't read that, there's a classic issue where Spider-Man is trapped under the ocean in Doctor Octopus's underground lair, and it's cracked and it's filling with water, and he has to lift a huge weight to get out. And it was so epic when I was like 12 and I was reading it. I was just like, oh, he's not gonna get out. He's gonna die. I actually thought he might die.
Yeah,
So classic.
it was good.
Yeah, that was a good reference. What do you think about that Washington Monument scene?
It was pretty cool.
To me, it's just like a dead spot in my mind. Just like, oh, I don't remember. It wasn't that great.
Why were they even in danger?
I don't even remember.
Like the elevator was falling.
Was that it? The elevator was falling?
Yeah, all the kids were in the elevator and they were
Why was
falling.
it falling? They just created it just to have something happen, didn't they?
I don't know. I can't remember.
I can't remember why the elevator even started falling because Vulture wasn't in that scene, was he?
No.
We'll have to see it again. I don't remember. But okay, I just had it. What was I just gonna say? Something sick.
Well, if you're about to say it, of course.
Yeah. Oh, it was gonna be a really good point too. I can't remember now. So,
There was also the boat action scene,
oh yeah, the boat action scene.
and
Oh yeah, I remember. I was gonna talk about how in this movie he has a suit that he got from Tony Stark, and I did not like that aspect at all because Spider-Man is classic for creating his own gadgets because he's supposed to be a genius himself, right? And also, he doesn't have any advanced technology. He doesn't beat the thugs because he has like a iron armor suit that can do this random stuff and give him AI. That's not what Spider-Man is known for, having AI in his suit. He's known for just being Spider-Man, almost as if he's just a guy with a suit on. That's all he is, you know. Kind of
Mhm.
like Batman. Well, not like Batman because he has gadgets. I don't know. Somebody that just,
He's like a street level hero.
yeah, street, like kind of like
He's not
Daredevil.
rich.
Yeah.
And the entire time it felt like he was just a Spider-Man alternate costume of Iron Man.
Mm,
He had
yeah.
so many different gadgets and stuff.
Right. Yeah. And I also didn't like how Iron Man was in it and how he's constantly trying to talk to Mr. Stark and Mr. Stark this and that.
Or as he would say, Mr. Stork, Mr. Stork.
No, he'd leave him 1,000 messages trying to get something sick to happen. I don't know. It just didn't seem. To be honest, my dream story would be an old Spider-Man who's like he's like 40
With Toby.
with Toby, old man Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Oh man, I would love to
Directed
see
by James Mangold.
old man Spider-Man. I would love to see that.
That'd be
That
cool.
would be sick. He'd be married to Mary Jane, and they'd have a daughter, and he would have his leg gone, like in that one story. He got
Yeah, like
his.
the Spider-Girl comics.
Yeah, yeah, that was sick. That would be such a cool storyline. Maybe if there
Yeah.
was an alternate universe story or something.
Spider-Man's never really been that serious, though.
What do you mean?
Hardly ever serious.
I
The
don't think-
comics
he,
are
he always mixes drama with action.
very rarely is it serious.
Well, but the best stories are always the ones with the serious drama.
But there's not that many good ones.
Well, I mean, you got to take from the best ones to make the best movies.
Oh man, speaking of the best Spider-Man stories, Kraven's Last Hunt.
Oh, that would be brilliant. What if it was Old Man Spider-Man, Kraven's Last Hunt? But
Yeah.
so like Spider-Man's old, and so is Kraven, and they've been battling many years. And Kraven's gonna decide to do his last hunt, and if he's not successful, he's gonna kill himself.
Yeah, it wouldn't work with Tom Holland.
No, definitely not.
It would either have to be like in 10 years, if there's like a bunch of Spider-Man movies, that would be like the last one.
Mm-hmm.
But
Yeah, what if he's Spider-Man till he's like 40? I doubt it.
that'd be a career.
I
right
know.
there, being
Yeah, I know.
Spider-Man.
Pretty soon he'll be up to 50 mil a movie like Robert Downey.
RDJ.
So, yeah, we gave you our preview there. I think I'm ready to rate it. And what do you think about Spider-Man? The movie?
I love how we just talked about the action scenes.
Well, okay. What drama scenes do you want to talk
Like,
about? I don't remember
Wait,
any of
was
them.
there any talking in this movie?
Yeah, there was just a bunch of boring like joke scenes that are forgettable. Like, oh, remember that joke? Yeah, I laughed, and then I moved on.
There was the one scene that stands out in my head right now
Which one?
when he was like, "Oh, what is Spider-Man? A party trick?" Because he's about to swing in on the party,
Mm-hmm.
and he's gonna like impress all the girls with his Spider-Man because he's friends with Spider-Man.
Oh yeah.
I thought that was cool because it was like an examination of.
Who said
Whether
what
he's
is
a hero.
Spider-Man?
He said that to himself when he was about to swing into the party. Spider-Man did.
Okay.
He was like, "What is Spider-Man? A party trick?"
Hmm.
Because he was like regretting that he was about to do it,
Yeah.
but he didn't actually go through with it though.
Right. Well, just because there was a perfectly timed explosion in the distance.
Oh, and what do you think about the movie's tagline?
Huh.
If you can't do
Oh.
it without the suit, then you don't deserve the suit, or something like that.
Yeah. Yeah. I actually like that. That's the new Uncle Ben line.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I
It was
respect that. It's a pretty good line.
And then that was like the whole thing with the lifting the rubble scene,
Yeah.
because he didn't have his actual suit, so he was forced to lift it.
Uh.
So that was like the best scene.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Yeah. All right. So, what do you give it, then? How many lifts out of 10?
I would lift 7.4 pieces of rubble if there were 10 right here.
I'd lift 7.1 pieces of rubble.
Okay.
So yeah, about 7.1 for me. Enjoyable film, and your 12-year-old will love it in 20 years when you have a kid. He will just love it. But it will be mostly forgettable.
I'm gonna force my kid to watch Spider-Man with Toby.
I know.
I'll be like, watch it every day.
If my son watches Spider-Man 1 and then he watches the other one and he says he likes it better, I'm going to snap the disc.
He can only eat if he watches Spider-Man that day. And he can quote every line.
Yeah, you have to be able to quote every line from the first one. Classic. Oh, man. Okay, so we got 2 other superhero movies on the docket. We've got Old Man Logan. Or wait, just Logan.
Yeah, Logan.
Logan. And Wonder Woman. What should we get on to next?
Wonder Woman.
Wonder Woman?
Yeah.
Okay, save the best for last.
Yep.
Okay, let's do it.
Yeah.
All right, then start us off. Tell us a little bit about Wonder Woman.
Oh yeah, I can't wait to talk about this Oscar-hyped film right here. It's basically if you've seen Captain America: The First Avenger, it's that but with a woman.
Oh, so it's better then?
No.
Yeah,
Worse.
because it has a woman in it, so it's better, right? Because, if you have an average film and then the main character is a woman, then it's better, right?
Really?
Oh, wait, no, that's not accurate, actually. Yeah, all right, welcome to Wonder Woman, one of the most overhyped films of the year.
Yep.
Talk about average. I mean, I was so pumped to see this movie because people were talking about it as if this is going to be like, I haven't seen one this good since Dark Knight.
Yeah, it was like, best DC movie since Dark Knight.
Yeah, DC is back better than ever.
Look out, Marvel.
Oh, Marvel doesn't even have a female superhero. They're behind the times.
Yeah, it turned out this one was highly average. Like,
yeah.
Literally like on par with Captain America 1.
Yeah, totally on par with Captain America 1.
It has like the same story beats and the same flaws as Captain America 1.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
The only things that are better, the main action set piece of this movie is when she finally decides to wreck some foos and go out onto the battlefield and own some noobs.
I like that scene.
That was cool. And then she like clears out an entire city.
Mm-hmm.
That was like the one standout of this movie.
Yeah, that was a cool scene because you got to see her use her full strength, and it was within a World War I battle. So that's a really cool setting to see Wonder Woman.
Yeah, it looked awesome. There was like smoke in the background. There was slow-mo. She was blocking bullets with her shield.
Yeah, well, slow-mo. We'll get onto that with the negatives. So the story is just a typical origin story for Wonder Woman. They pretty much go by the book. She's born on her island, yada yada. She's a warrior. She's half Zeus or something. And she fights the what's his name, the other god that's the enemy of the
Ares?
Atlanteans or whatever it is.
Ares or Hades, I don't know.
One of the two, Ares.
I think it's Ares because it's the god of war.
Mm-hmm.
But then Wonder Woman, she desperately wants to get to the real world because she wants to stop all war.
Oh yeah. Oh.
She has this need to stop all wars.
Oh yeah, she hates war, and then she wants to go to war and to kill war, so there's no more war.
And then Chris Pine flies in from the alternate, or is it a different universe?
No, it's just the island just hidden on
Island's
Earth.
invisible.
Yeah.
And then she sees her first wang.
Oh yeah. Oh man, there's some really crappy, awkward scenes in this movie, and they're so just not in the time period. This is supposed to be set like World War I, right?
Mm-hmm.
So World War I was where like everybody wore a suit and a dress when seen in public, right? A suit or a dress, and you'd never see a man shirtless. You would never see a woman's legs, right?
Yeah.
So Chris Pine, the typical American from that period, walks in. He's completely nude, full body shaven, 2016 abs showing, and no body hair whatsoever, completely nude with his penis hanging out. And she walks in and she stares at his dick, and then he just stands there and just like, hey, what's up?
She's
What's
not
going
phased
on?
at all.
Yeah, she's not phased at all, and neither is he. Wouldn't he be like, oh, excuse me, and try to grab his towel or something,
I think he kind of did.
I
Then
mean,
he just let it hang.
maybe But like somebody that might do that would be like a ruffian, like some kind of a street thug in that time or something,
I feel
But
like that's the movie effect.
yeah.
Like, if you imagine this happening in real life, it's so ridiculous.
Mm-hmm.
But just the fact that it's happening in a movie and like everyone else is fine with it, it's in the movie, so it's fine, right? Right?
Yeah, that seemed that broke that one. What do you call it? Jump the shark, or I don't know. That went over the line for me. That was too unbelievable.
And then there's also the awkward scene on the boat when they're like floating over to the war.
Oh yeah. So do you want to sleep together? Well, yes, I'd love to sleep together. That was a dumb scene. That was dumb.
It just
The
wouldn't happen.
writing wasn't that good.
It's out of its time. That it doesn't fit in World War One era. It feels like a 2017 humor
Yeah.
movie.
When you do a period piece, you want it to feel like it's actually set in that time, not like, oh, look at that, they're wearing old time costumes. It's not supposed to be like that. You know?
Mm-hmm.
It could have easily just been set in World War II or modern times, Especially the ending scene. That seemed like it was set in 2017. You
What
know?
scene?
The ending final battle on the air pad. That just seemed modern. I guess it's because of all the CG, maybe. I don't know.
They didn't have CG back then.
No, I just mean it looks CG, so therefore I associate it with 2017.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. So then the plot is she meets Chris Pratt, or no, wait, not Chris Pratt, Chris Pine, and they go to London or America or something. I don't know, somewhere.
No, it's not America.
It's London. I
Yeah.
think it was London. I don't know. I have no idea. But they go to fight the Nazis, and then they kill them. And, oh, okay. How about the really bad villains in this movie? DC keeps his streak alive. Sucky villains.
Yeah, this is my main flaw with the movie. It's like the villain in this movie is like it's like a like she's twiddling her thumbs and
so bad.
developing her death potions.
Oh, that was.
It's like, what is this, Saturday morning?
Yeah, that was like something you would see in a G.I. Joe cartoon.
Yeah.
That was awful. So there's this girl who's like a Nazi like gas maker, and she makes gas that just destroys your body.
What was she called? Like Lady Death or something?
Yeah,
Like
it was
that?
dumb. It was dumb. It's like they were.
Oh, and then the villain who was the guy from X-Men Origins Wolverine.
Oh yeah.
He like snorts evil gas
Oh yeah.
to get
That
evil.
was so stupid. So there's the scene where Wonder Woman's fighting the main villain on top of a building, and before the fight he like snorts some gas, and then all of a sudden he gains super strength for like 10 minutes. And basically the whole movie is inconsistent as far as believability and logic within the restraints of the film. So you might say, well, it's supposed to be unrealistic. It's got Wonder Woman, it's not realistic. But they went over the line, You got a line here, and behind it is, there's a character who can do super strength, and there's gods and stuff. But across that line is a guy who snorts potion to gain super strength, to have enough strength to fight Wonder Woman, but only for a few minutes. And it wasn't cool. That was the biggest problem with it.
Yeah, like I think the perfect idea for this movie of a period piece movie was her fighting in World War One in like the battle. Like that was by far the coolest thing ever, to see her fight and wreck some noobs.
Mm-hmm.
But then when you get to the final battle versus Ares, it's just so ridiculous. It completely jumped the shark. It doesn't hold up.
Yeah, and the whole battle was not fun to watch either. It's just another series of people flying through the air.
It was basically the Doomsday fight from Batman versus Superman, but not as cool.
Yeah, I mean, Ares could have been so much cooler if he had been the main villain throughout the entire film, and they didn't go with the fake mind blower, because they were trying to go for a message in this film, like, oh, is it true that Ares actually exists? The gods exist or not? Is she really a god, or is it just just part of their lore on the island, and there is no gods and there is no Ares? And then at the end, it's like, whoa, mind blower! There actually is gods, and she's fighting Ares. But what that does is it makes Ares pointless and totally undeveloped throughout the film, and especially lame since they introduce one guy like for a 5-minute scene, and then he just randomly pops up at the end as Ares.
Yeah, huge flaw. You can't introduce your villain in the last 15 minutes and expect him to be a good villain. I mean, how many movies has that ever worked out for?
I don't
Maybe
know.
like one or two in history.
I don't know. Who knows? I can't think
Like
of any.
they're trying to be like 7 or something.
Yeah. Oh wow, 7. Oh yeah. That's brilliant in 7.
Yeah, but
But the reason it works in 7 is because the entire film focuses on the actions of the villain. You just don't see him yet. In Wonder Woman, it just comes out of nowhere at the end. You don't know anything about him till like the last 15 minutes of it, you know?
mm-hmm.
And that it could very easily have been he wasn't the villain and there was no Ares and the movie would have been the exact same thing, you know what I mean?
Yeah. And
So,
when Chris Pine flies his plane up and sacrifices himself,
oh, I was like, no, please, no.
it was okay, but the main problem was it was like an exact replica of Captain America 1.
Yeah, it
When
was.
Captain America is flying the plane literally at the end of the movie and
Yeah.
then he like sacrifices himself. It was like a mirror image.
Yeah.
So unoriginal. And the fact that it was like a period piece movie just made it seem like it was a direct ripoff.
Yeah, I don't know. You'd think they could have done something better. You just think
For
they
the
could have.
ending.
Yeah, for the ending.
Well, if it was me, I would have gave Ares like a really cool look. Like,
Yeah, a different actor playing him that was established throughout the film. I'm thinking like kind of like the Justice League cartoon, maybe like a really arrogant, tall actor, you know, who is like trying to manipulate everybody throughout the entire movie. That would have been cool. Because one thing I did like in this film, there was a really cool sequence when they were talking about the gods, and the art was really awesome. It was like kind of 300-esque, and they was like climbing Mount Olympus and doing different things, and they showed Ares, and it was a really awesome sequence. Great art. It looked really cool. Remember that?
mm-hmm. It made it seem really epic.
Mm-hmm. So then when you get to the final fight, it's like, oh, that's not as cool.
That's it.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, that's it. That's perfect. When you see the final fight, you're like, that's it? What? Oh, meh. You know? Very disappointing. But so the positives of the film, though. Okay, let's get to positive.
Wait, hold on. That's like the one thing I love about Spider-Man 1 is because
Yeah. The one thing you love?
One of the many things is the best action scene is literally the last action scene.
Oh, yeah.
When he's fighting Gabi.
Mm-hmm.
So there's no feeling of, oh, I've already seen the best scene in this movie and it's not even half over.
Oh, yes.
It seems like there's so many action movies nowadays, like John Wick 2, for instance.
Uh-huh.
You see the best of the movie has to offer before it's even half over. Same
Yeah.
for Wonder Woman.
Yeah, you don't want to start with a climax in the middle. Then the rest of the movie seems like a disappointment.
I don't know how to alleviate that because if you have an idea for a sick action scene, you want it to be sick.
Right.
I guess
Well,
it's
all
just-
you have to do is you have to ramp up your final scene more to make sure it's cooler. You know? You can't just have your best scenes in the middle of the movie and then just end it. There has to be a satisfying conclusion.
It feels like they just didn't have an ending.
Yeah, I don't know.
It's like they didn't have a good idea. Let's just have a CG smash.
Yeah. Like the script could have easily said CG battle, they throw stuff at each other, and then it's over.
It's basically like the same as Spider-Man Homecoming ending too.
I don't
Just
remember that.
Forgettable.
The Homecoming ending was kind of cool with the plane.
It was a little cool.
It was at least interesting. Like something I've seen Tom Cruise ride the side of a plane, but it was pretty cool to see Spider-Man do it as well.
Tom Cruise for Spidey.
Young man Spidey.
Yeah, he's younger than Tom Holland, right?
Mm-hmm. He's got bigger abs.
Big abs.
Big abs.
Yeah.
He has big abs and a Ripley butt.
Well, what else? Oh, the love story too. When they were like slow dancing and listening to.
Wait, when are they slow dancing?
Chris Pine and Wonder Woman were slow dancing, falling in love.
I don't remember
That's
that.
pretty good. It was one of the more believable love stories I've seen
Yeah,
in a superhero movie.
yeah. I was gonna say it's one positive. For all the negatives and unrealistic lines and situations, their characters together were good. That was good and entertaining to watch.
Yeah, I felt the chemistry.
Good
and
acting.
The love story didn't seem forced. Like it actually felt like it was part of the movie.
Uh-huh.
It wasn't forced.
Oh yeah, it wasn't like a tacked on love story like sometimes it is. It was actually one of the reasons they had the film was that was part of it.
Yeah, like it wasn't sidelined.
Mm-hmm.
It was actually a big part of the movie,
Right.
and it worked pretty well.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
Well,
Yeah. So, should we score it?
sure.
Oh, I can't even decide what to score it because I think I wanted to like it more than I actually did. Really, you know, just because I was supposed to like it so much.
Well,
You know.
based on the hype, it'd be like a 10 out of 10.
Yeah. Exactly. Exactly. So I'll probably go 6.9.
I was gonna say 6.8.
Yeah. Why are we always like within a couple point zeros somethings?
Because we're clones.
Yeah.
All right, so the next movie we got is this dude right here.
Wolverine, Logan. Okay, this one was so good. This was good. This is so good.
Yeah, I'll be so sad if it isn't nominated for some Oscars.
What'll it win though? I don't think it'll win anything. Maybe
Well-
best supporting actor for Charles Xavier.
I'll be satisfied just with like a Best Picture nom. If it
It
gets
won't get a
that.
best fiction on then.
It could.
I mean
There's literally
Wonder
been-
Woman's getting a slot, so how could Wolverine get
So
one?
far, the only candidates so far are Logan and Dunkirk, are the only two
You
so
think
far
so?
this year.
Logan, Dunkirk. Yeah.
Maybe Planet of the Apes. But
No,
that's
no.
that's a reach.
No, not quite. Oh yeah, we're gonna do some more reviews in our next episode, including Planet of the Apes. But so okay, yeah. Well, they're always gonna do the Oscar movies much later in the year, though. The summer blockbusters never get
Oh.
nominated.
It could get nominated for Best Writing.
Best
That was
rating?
probably the best strength of this movie. The
yeah,
whole reason it worked was just strong characters and stuff.
yeah, yeah. It definitely was good. I liked the script. Yeah, yeah, it was really good. So the plot is Wolverine's an old man, and it's interesting. It's almost set in an alternate reality from within the X-Men universe where Wolverine may or may not have done all the stuff in the movies. It could have been exaggerated, and it's kind of like he's just old and his powers don't work quite as well as they did before. But he's still fresh, and now they finally have the reins off to make exactly the movie they always wanted to make. It was rated R.
Unleash the Beast.
Not that it had to be rated R, but this one had to be rated R.
I think it did because it was going for such a bleak tone. You have to have the violence
Yep.
to show that tone.
Like the road with Wolverine.
Yeah.
Yeah. They really, you could tell they were not holding anything back. They were doing everything they always wanted to do.
Yeah, I felt like the director was like, okay, this is probably gonna be the one shot I have to make the best Wolverine movie. I'm gonna make it.
Exactly. Like he's like, okay, nobody else. When they reboot Wolverine, they'll probably make it PG-13. This is the last one in the series.
It's
It's
been
time.
like 17 years of Wolverine movies
Mhm.
leading up to this.
Yeah. Yeah.
Let's make the best of it.
Yeah. And it opens with such a sick scene because in this one, Wolverine plays like a limo driver, pretty much. Well, he doesn't play. That's his job. He's a limo driver now. He doesn't do anything sick on the X-Men or anything. He just drives his limo. And then some thugs come up to him, and he just, like, wrecks them all.
He's like drunk out of his mind too.
Oh, was he?
I think so.
I don't even remember. But so
'Cause, yeah, I think he was
the
like
thugs, like, start kicking his car and trying to break his windows. So he just comes out, and he just, like, chops them all their arms off. And, like, he does berserker stabbing. And
yeah.
oh,
I
it
think there was one
sick.
scene where he like stabs through a guy's hand,
Yeah.
and the choreography was just so sick. It was
Yeah.
brutal.
It was good style. It was like, wow, that's how Wolverine would fight.
Yeah, like if you watch X-Men 3, it's kind of like a cartoony version of what Wolverine would look like.
Yeah, like he swings his claws, and instead of the claws slicing through somebody's body, they just make the body fly through the air.
Just
you
makes
know?
a swing, and then they fly away or something.
Yeah,
In this one, it's like
he
this
just
is-
stabs them.
If Wolverine was real, this is how it would look.
Yeah, yeah.
And it totally worked. It was sick.
Mm-hmm. Oh, and Hugh Jackman played the role perfectly. He always is good as Wolverine, and he was just so good in this one.
He was always the standout of all the X-Men movies.
Yeah, Hugh Jackman is a really good actor. He
I
just
don't
knows
know
what he's
it
doing.
is. He's just so cool. I guess I'm a sucker for ripped, like devil may care characters.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I guess I was destined to like Wolverine. Oh, I remember when I was a kid, like, remember we were at the lake and then all I wanted to do was watch X-Men?
Yeah. Yeah, I do remember that.
Because the mansion scene is so bleeping cool.
Oh yeah, the in X2.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It
Yeah.
like defined coolness for me when I was a kid.
I need to get that one on Blu-ray. I haven't seen it in probably 4 years.
I don't know what's so cool about it, but it's just like the definition
Oh,
of Wolverine.
you know what? It's cool. Why it's cool? It speaks to your animal nature. So Wolverine sees all the thugs coming in. They're breaking in. So you know his only option is kill them all or get killed by
They'll
them.
kill you.
So it's like the ultimate survival. It's like the ultimate game, you know? If he gets killed by them, he's done, game over. But not only that, it's more intense because it's his life is on the line. And so then when he rage attacks them and he destroys them with sick moves, it's just like the ultimate cathartic survival.
Yeah, it's like Berserker Wolverine. He's not holding back.
Yeah, that's so cool. So fun to watch.
But yeah, if you like that scene in X-Men 2, if you thought that was the standout, the
Yeah.
entire Logan movie is that.
Yeah, exactly. You might say for some people it might have been a little bit too much. Like, oh, this is too gory, too graphic. They went over the top. But I mean, I did get that feeling sometimes. Like he kept stabbing people, like I don't know, too many times for me a little bit.
Yeah.
It did get a little old, like a little bit like John Wick 2, where yeah, John Wick can get a headshot, but does he have to do it every time? Like every time for the last hour straight? I mean, there's only so many times you can do something sick that many times in a row before it gets a little old.
I don't think they overplayed the cool kills. I think it was just a little too violent.
A little
They
too violent.
could have obscured it a little bit.
Maybe.
Kind of like how Lord of the Rings does it a little bit.
Well, I recently when we rewatched Lord of the Rings, I was slightly disappointed by it because you could tell they were really trying to mask how violent it was, you know, and
Mhm.
like it was a little bit shot a little bit too close, you know, and a little too shaky, so you kind of couldn't tell what was happening, and you could tell they were trying to make sure it wouldn't be rated R. I mean, Lord of the Rings, they had to do it to make the money, but in a better world, there'd be a little bit better cinematography on those Lord of the Rings films, and you could actually see the fighting scenes, you know. But
Yeah, especially the Moria scene when all the orcs come barging into the tomb.
yeah. Oh, really? I like that one.
That is one of the coolest scenes, but there's
love that
like
scene.
one part I slow-moed it
Mm-hmm.
and Aragorn actually hacks off this orc's head and then like blood sprays from the stump.
Oh yeah.
But you can barely even tell it happens in real time. It's just so fast editing.
Oh.
So, but yeah,
Hmm.
Logan, a little too violent for me. It
A
was
little
kind of
violent.
disgusting.
Yeah, it was. It was a little bit.
There were like some scenes that didn't bother me, but then some scenes were just like, ugh, what is this? Like a horror film?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, they definitely they didn't want people to say, "Oh, they still held back." You could tell they were trying to make sure nobody said that.
Mhm.
Especially like the ending. That was crazy. Oh yeah, which reminds me, we should get into like the villain of the film. What was his name in this one? He's like a robotic arm guy who's trying to hunt. So, oh yeah, but then you have to explain. So Wolverine meets this girl who also has Wolverine powers, and it may or may not be his daughter or his clone or something. And so circumstances happen, and he has to take her under his wing, even though he definitely doesn't want to, you know. And then Professor X is in it too. Classic
Prof
Professor.
X.
Yeah, I know.
Really good
That
acting.
was great. Patrick Stewart, what an actor.
Remember the scene where he goes and takes a dump?
Yes.
That's one of the best scenes.
I
It's
do-
just like the peer relationship is just shown.
Yeah, like what does he say? Like don't look or something.
That's kind of like when we akimbo dumped that one time.
Yeah, thanks for bringing that up on the podcast. Oh man.
Yeah, that poop scene was the best.
Yeah, I loved all Professor X's lines in this. So good. He just they wrote him perfectly, and the acting was just spot on. Like, because Professor X in this one's very old, and he's good, like with mental powers, but then your mind's going a bit. It's a little bit off. Like you don't know what to expect. What's he gonna do next? and he just has some hilarious lines like "sale at Taco Bell." He just randomly says it. It was really funny, and Patrick Stewart nailed the role. He acted like he was so old, even though he in real life he
So
doesn't even
old.
act that old. You
Uh-huh.
know?
Well, I think he lost a lot of weight for the role.
Right. Yeah.
And then the one of the best Prophex scenes is the dinner scene where they stay with like a family.
Oh yeah.
And then there's a really good dinner scene.
Yeah.
A theme in a lot of movies.
Yeah. Yeah.
Good dinner scenes.
Oh man, the dinner scene.
Yeah, that was good. And then, should we reveal the other shocking villain, or should we? First wait?
Yeah, you might as well, right? No?
Okay. Okay, we're
Yeah,
gonna reveal.
we're gonna reveal the big villain in this because it's really surprising because when you go in that dinner scene, somehow you just know that everyone in that family is gonna die when you're watching it, but you're not sure how. And then it's so shocking when it turns out to be a clone of Wolverine who's there to kill him, and he kills Professor X, and you're just like, what? What's going on? This is crazy.
Yeah, my mind was so blown.
Like, and
I was like, what is going on? Why did Wolverine do that?
and then he looks younger, and he has black hair, and like,
He looked like a beast.
yeah, I
Like, I
know.
wouldn't want to mess with him.
Yeah, he looked really scary. That was awesome. So then he's like a clone, but he's been like mentally programmed to just kill people and not like have any emotions, you know? Kind of like a Terminator, really.
Or like the Winter Soldier.
Yeah. And so they send him after Wolverine because he's got the girl, right? So it's his job to kill Wolverine because he's protecting the girl, right?
Do they want the girl? I don't
Yeah, they
remember.
want the girl because all the kids were from that experimental zone,
Yeah.
like, and they were trying to get him back so they could do more experiments on them, I guess. But the caretakers helped them all escape. Remember?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So the bad guys are trying to get him back so they can experiment on him.
Oh, and then the ultimate culminating scene.
Mm-hmm.
Should we talk about that? The final scene where they're trying to capture all the kids, and then Wolverine has to defend them.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. And
Oh
then
man.
he goes berserker one last time. One last ride.
One last time.
Oh man,
It was awesome.
that was awesome. And he has like the steroid stuff or something.
Yeah, he like takes some steroids,
and
then
it gives
he,
him
like,
his powers back for a short time because he's like he's losing his powers. You
There's
know?
like the awesome shot from the trailer where he like dives towards the guy on the tree and stabs him into the tree.
Yeah, yeah.
That was like one of the most.
Oh yeah. Another interesting thing is
Just
that
wanted to rip off my shirt.
the little girl, she also fights people in this one, but it's for some reason it was actually believable.
Yeah.
You can tell when it's well executed when you believe what's happening on screen. Like, of course, we don't believe a little girl can kill like a bunch of people from the military, but for some reason she's got the claws, she's got the blades on it coming out of her feet, so somehow she like flies around and she can just kill people, and for some reason
Yeah,
it's
like
believable.
That first scene where they're trying to get her at Wolverine's like house in like the desert,
Right.
totally believable.
Yeah.
Like I was so shocked. It was like, whoa, she's lethal.
Yeah, like she can actually kill you.
She
Like,
was wrecking noobs.
it's not like Black Widow where you're like, oh, nice dance moves there, Black Widow, as you palm a horse off that guy's head.
Yeah. No, it wasn't like that. She was brutal. She was stabbing.
Mm-hmm.
And then there was a cool car chase.
Oh yeah, that was cool.
Everything in this movie is cool.
Mm-hmm.
There's nothing bad.
Yeah.
And then there's the scene where Wolverine, there's like this Western-esque showdown between those guys who are coming at the place where they stayed at dinner. And then there's some guys coming to beat him up.
Oh.
And then Wolverine like
Oh,
pulls
yeah.
a Clint Eastwood.
Oh, okay. That scene totally reminded me of the scene with Kurt Russell
Oh, from Tombstone.
from Tombstone when he's like slapping that guy. It's just the guys challenge him, and he just like basically he whips out his dick, and he just tells him to leave.
Mine's bigger.
Yeah, mine's bigger, and then they're just like, yeah, you're right, it is.
This
And
is such a guy movie.
I know it is.
It's
It
like
is.
the opposite of Wonder Woman.
Yeah, I know. Oh man,
I love it though.
it's so good. Yeah. Oh man. Okay, what else do we got? I love the way the filmmaking technique in this movie is great. Like the camera work, choreography, cinematography, music. The music is actually a big factor in this. Like the Johnny Cash type stuff. It really adds to the tone of the film. Don't you
Was
think?
there any during the movie though?
Well, I'm not sure if there was, but
There was. At
it
the
was
end
like
credits.
guitar themed. You know, it wasn't like
I don't remember the
dubstep.
music.
I remember the final song was Johnny Cash.
I like the final song.
Mhm.
That's cool.
And I remember the trailer had Johnny Cash
Yeah.
in it.
That's one of the best trailers ever, I'll say too.
That was a good trailer, yeah.
You can kind of tell a movie's gonna be good when the trailer's that good.
Yeah, well,
Not always, but
no, not always.
like The Revenant. I remember one of the best trailers was the Revenant trailer,
Yeah,
and that one delivered in spades.
yeah, that was pretty good.
Like if you watch that trailer and then you watch The Revenant, it's a
Mhm.
perfect example of what The Revenant is.
That's true. Yeah,
Same for the Wolverine trailer.
and Dunkirk trailer.
I didn't watch that.
Oh, really? No.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll get into Dunkirk in our next episode as well. But oh man, so Wolverine, I would totally recommend. Just buy it on Blu-ray, watch it again. I can't wait to find it on sale somewhere and get
Bring
it
a
again.
barf bag for the violence, though.
Yeah, bring a barf bag. Oh man.
So many good scenes.
Yeah.
Everything.
Yeah. And the ending is just so satisfying. Every character arc is closed to a T and nothing leaves you wanting more or less, you know?
I got so close to crying.
Yeah.
Like I don't think I could physically cry while watching a movie, but this is the closest I could get.
Really? So you never cried when watching a movie?
I don't think so.
I have when playing a video game, but I don't know if I've totally 100% cried while watching a movie.
There's that one moment.
Yeah.
I almost cried.
Yeah, it's got the full emotional spectrum.
Uh,
Go from like, oh, this is epic, kill him, to I'm about to cry. Oh man.
Okay, I think we can rate this one.
Mm-hmm. All right,
Man.
I'm gonna give it an 8.2.
I'd give it 8.5.
Ooh, 8.5. Wow,
Yeah.
that's a pretty good rating.
Yeah.
Man, that puts it in the top 250 of all time.
Well, I mean, it could be.
Maybe. No, probably not. Probably not the top 250 of all time.
You
But-
never know.
But that actually was the best superhero movie since Dark Knight, don't you think?
Mm-hmm.
Unless Avengers came out after Dark Knight.
Yeah.
Hmm.
It was like 2012 or something.
Yeah. I don't know, but it was probably the best since
It's
Dark
so
Knight.
different. How can you compare?
Yeah,
it to the
you
Avengers?
can't compare it to the Avengers, but if you had to, I'd say it's slightly
I
better.
mean, I'll watch those movies till I die.
Yeah, the big
probably.
problem with Wolverine though is it's not good for kids.
Mm-mm.
Like it's like I wanted to bring my little brother and all them, and I was like, oh, I guess it's not good for kids.
Wolverine was never really a kid character though.
That's true. It's true.
That was like the main problem. Like I always read those old X-Men comics, and Wolverine is so held back.
Yeah.
It's kind of lame actually.
Yeah, they always knock him out so he doesn't have to kill people.
Like the only time he ever uses his claws is to like cut
Kill-
open a cloth or something.
Or kill a robot.
Yeah, killing robots.
Yeah.
It's like I think Wolverine was like way too ahead of his time.
Mm-hmm.
The comics weren't even dark enough yet for Wolverine.
Yeah.
Then they finally evolved, and now it's like they can go as dark as they wanted it to be originally.
Yeah. Yep. So wait, what rating did you give it? Oh yeah, 8.5.
8.5.
All right, that's a good score. So yeah, Wonder Woman, Spider-Man, and Wolverine.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh boy, yeah.
Oh man. All right, guys. So look forward to our next episode. We're gonna get into some Dunkirk, Planet of the Apes, and what other one?
Baby Driver.
Baby Driver. That'll be our next episode. Hopefully this new audio sound is much better, and we're gonna enjoy doing some more episodes. So see you guys soon. Beast.
Oh, Dick, we were recording. So you gotta do that joke every time.
Oh, Nick, we were recording. If we ever do that, we'll just retire. You know what some podcasters do?
What?
They have like a separate recording device connected to their sound system, so in case they accidentally like the power goes out or something, it's still recorded because it's got battery power.
So they don't lose their episode. We've been waiting on that Logan review